The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's stop this conversation. Let's stop this conversation. We got no relation. It's crazy. You could save me from my isolation. I'm not too complicated. I stop this conversation. Control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's stop this conversation. Let's stop this conversation. We got no relation. It's crazy. And it goes like you could save me.
Well, hello. Oh, I told you I'm not on Twitch anymore. Too many changes to Twitch. I don't look good in a bikini. Otherwise, I'd stay on Twitch. Whoa. Whoa. I mean, I can show you in Vegas how good I look in a bikini, but I don't think anybody wants that one. What's on the table? My Harlequins. I don't think I have a good way to rig the camera downwards. The only thing I have pointing down at the table is my giant bright light. So I don't think I really have a good way to, like, jerry-rig this thing downwards. I'm almost done with the purples, so... Making queens now? I am making Harlequins. It's an army I was aesthetically drawn to for a very long time. I love the concept of killer clowns. Joker is one of my favorite comic book characters. So my entire scheme is based off those two things. I also feel like the playstyle could be well suited for me once I actually learn them at a competitive level, so it'll be interesting. I'm excited. I've got about just under 2 weeks to paint my army, so that's always exciting. The nice thing though, after today, or after tonight I should say, I'll be at the point where I'll just need to do 2 more sprues of troops, the characters, the bikes, and the boats. But what's nice about the bikes and the boats, because I just need them table ready, I don't need to get too fancy with them. I can just kind of... I've played 1 game of them on Tabletop Simulator, and I will be YOLOing them at the RTT. I played 1 game with them on Tabletop Simulator, and I beat my opponent 78-73. And that was with me having very limited knowledge of what it does. I've kind of been joking that I was going to YOLO an army at a tournament for a very long time. But people have convinced me not to do it, so I was like, fine, I'll play what I'm decent at. And now it's like, well, I want to play the clowns. So we're playing the clowns. So I guess I can show you a finished one. I don't know how well it's going to show up on the camera. But that is the Death Jester, all finished up in his glory. I'm not going to lie to you, that is the camera autofocusing to the best of its ability. Maybe if I get my fat head out of the way? Nope, looked okay. So yeah, at this point I have the Death Jester, Troop Master, and then after tonight, 20 troops all painted up, ready to go. Basically just applying the last colors of purple to everything. Yeah, I definitely like this process more than the quote-unquote traditional way of painting painting miniatures. Like, so I primed everything on the sprues, which I know is like a big blasphemous act when it comes to the Warhammer community. But for me, it's like I can get it all done at once. I can get all the nooks and crannies painted. I can make everything exactly how I want it to look. I don't have to worry about trying to sneak into places and getting every detail I want to get painted and then have things unpainted and it just like crawl under my skin because I know it's not painted, nobody else will, but I'm that kind of person. So it's actually, I mean, for most things, the impact point isn't that great. Or isn't that, like, major. And they're usually in, like, connection points. So, like, for the Quins, it's pretty much all in the armpits areas and in the, like, under the boot areas. So it's, like, the impact point of where the sprue is such a small, minor thing that the paint will still apply there. There's not enough, like, unpainted plastic or unprimed plastic that it will not stick. The paint won't stick. So I mainly started doing it when I was painting Death Guard. I decided to try doing it with just one of the sprues because I was like, I want to see if I can paint it faster, and I did. I was able to paint everything significantly faster. Where it was taking me almost 2 to 3 hours a model, and now it's taking me 2 to 3 hours for the sprue. That's kind of what I noticed last night when I was painting 3 of the troops at once this way. I was able to get done with the 3 of them by the time it took me to get done with about 1, painting it the traditional way. So that's what I want. Because then it's like, when you go to the next color, you know that you're pretty much done with that original color. You don't have to worry about it anymore. Because, I mean, you can still, I guess, apply that same principle to painting them normally. But again, it's like, depending on where all your nooks and crannies are, it might take a little bit longer because you're trying to fidget the model around, get to that one area you're trying to get to. This way, it's like, I don't got to worry about that. I can get to every access point. Every model's color will be done at the same time. No, I don't scrape mold lines, period. I know, again, more blasphemy on the hobby side of things, but I am more for, as long as it looks good to me and it doesn't look too egregiously terrible, I'm fine. Like, I'm not, for me painting, I'm not looking to win an award, because I know that I will not have the time nor the patience to get to that level. I am. So it's mainly just making sure that the model looks good to me. That's where I'm at when it comes to painting. And again, that's much more based on the fact that I'm a lot more competitive when it comes to Warhammer. So it's like, I'm much more worried about actually playing the game. Like, I would live in a world that if tournaments didn't require painting, I probably wouldn't have painted armies at all. That's how I was when I played Guild Ball as well. I didn't care. I was like, I'm here to play the game. And obviously, there's nothing wrong if you want to be the hobbyist of the world. Like, would I want to be at that painting level? Of course. I think there are a lot of people that have painted armies magnificently, and it's like, I wish I had the patience to do that. I just don't have the patience to do that. So again, I'm just in a realm of like, let's get the paint down there. Let's not make it look all streaky and blotchy and... Again, I want it to look good, but I'm not here to win an award. Yeah, I'm debating an attorney at the moment. Played Deathwing vs. Space Wolves last weekend, table bottom of 4. Were you Space Wolves or Deathwing? What did I do here? Because I have 2 legs with ribbons together here, and that's... I've got 2 males. I think you 2 go together? Okay, you 2 go together. Dope. And then you 2 go together. I got really confused there for a second. Deathwing. Against Space Wolves. I have no idea what Deathwing is, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm having a very strong inkling to lean towards that it is a Space Marine faction, but I feel like that kind of goes without saying. I know Space Wolves are like in a really weird spot when it comes to competitive. Like, it seems like they're either, the people playing them at tournaments are either doing really, really well or really, really poorly. And I think it's because their bonus trait during the Assault Doctrine, like, isn't super impactful. Like, exploding 6s and double exploding 6s, always good, right? Like, that's a world you want to live in. But at the same time, if you don't have, like, the teeth or the number of dice beforehand with it, it really just doesn't matter. Like, who cares if you have double exploding 6s and, like, a whole bunch of, like, AP1 weapons? Like, I don't, like, especially in a World of Armor of Contempt, it's, like, cool. Have your double exploding 6s. Oh, okay. I suppose that kind of does make sense. I mean, that's the way you would deal with Terminators. Force them to have a whole bunch of saves, I suppose. Yeah, Marines, again, are kind of just in a weird spot. There's a lot of good things about Marines, and there's a lot of bad things about Marines. I know adamant Space Marine players are along the low boats of, like, it's impossible to win right now in 9th edition with them, but I think they have a spot. I think if you know your army well enough, you can definitely... Like, I don't necessarily agree with the fact that, like, a lot of the Space Marine factions are considered tier 2 or tier B, whatever way you do your tier systems. I definitely feel like they have a lot more play than people are giving them right now. Okay, well, exploding 5s is enticing. I mean, it's weird, too, because it's like shooting right now in the game, I feel like it's really impactful. But like Ultramarines are just terrible. Maybe because like the actual Ultramarine supplement is still 8th edition. I guess that could be it, but Bobby G is OP though. Start with all the CP. Yeah, it's kind of crazy with Space Marines being one of the most popular, right? I guess not most popular, but probably the most widely played faction, just based off the genericness of what a Space Marine army is. I don't face a lot of Space Marines. They did, actually, somewhere. I can't remember where. It may she use the distance between what is painted versus unpainted. Yeah, I heard that too. They won like 2 weeks ago, which is wild. I mean, I feel like terrain is also a big part of that. Like GW terrain definitely favors the shooty guys, so. And that's also always a pretty, I don't want to say crutch, but like a pretty big factor to consider, you know? It's the first army I tried learning, or was learning, and I first bought was Blood Angels. And I tried to learn how to play Blood Angels without Sanguinary Guard. Like, it's hard when you don't have, like, your book's best unit available to you. It's kind of like, what are we doing here? But that's the point I was making. Like, even though Space Marines are not the best faction in 9th edition, they're still sneaking wins out. Like, you still got Blood Angels that I think are probably the best Space Marine faction out there, doing great. Ultramarines are putting up results for some reason. Like, they're out there. Well, no, you don't want to be a shooting army with Space Wolves. Back to purple, because we gotta paint the other side of the torsos. Yeah, I think personally for me, if I was going any Space Marine faction at a competitive level, it would probably be Blood Angels. There's too many good tools for them. Their secondaries are really strong. It's hard to deny an army that has secondaries that are just like they're playing their army and they're scoring points. It's really hard to be against that concept. That's why Sisters are so good. It's also probably why Harlequins are also very good. You're just kind of playing your army the way that you want to play them and you're scoring points. I do need new brushes. That's got to be in the docket. I mean, it's kind of irrelevant now because I'm going to have all this stuff painted by the time I care about getting new brushes, but before the next big painting spree I have to do, I need new paintbrushes. Oh, for sure. That's the nice thing about getting a nice community together and a good place to play. You know, you can kind of get to that situation. It's like, hey, you know, these dudes are this, these dudes are this, and, you know, just get a good test game. Let you, you know, test the things before you buy them kind of stuff. I would never truly recommend somebody to buy an army before they've at least played it once. I mean, I guess I really shouldn't talk because I literally never played a game with this army and bought into it, but it's neither here nor there. We're not going to talk about it. Shh. Sweats in Votann. I mean, Votann, I think right now a lot of people are buying it for the hobbying concept. I should say a lot. A good majority is buying it for the hobbying concept. I mean, that's all I see on the Reddit page at this point. Nobody's talking about the book or the army or what they do. It's literally just, hey guys, this is my paint scheme, this is my custom chapter, this is this is that, this is my call, this is my champion, these are my warriors, this is my Thune. Like, far too late for that. And I can speak to experience. Painted Drakari, Space Wolves, Quins, all gone now. Woof. Yeah, Quins will... Been playing the game for a year, and Harlequins will legitimately be the first army that I have fully painted. Usually I have things that I have bought that were painted in my armies, or just bought straight up painted armies. So I say this army kind of is going to have probably a little special place in my heart for a while. I keep telling myself to not use this torso, and yet here I am still using this freaking torso. So I keep forgetting about the inside of the jacket every time. Ooh, you don't go there. You go there. Yeah. Yeah, I am very excited to try these girls out. It's a huge bonus that their matchup against demons is, I want to say, favorable. I don't want to say is good, but I want to say is favorable. It really comes down to your psychic spells going off. And beneficial trading, from what I've noticed. Neural pistols OP. Guard had like a resurgence when they renamed one of their or like changed the wording of one of their secondaries. I don't remember which one. It had a small resurgence. And then it just kind of was like, hey, we're still guard. People went like, ooh, maybe they're playable, and hey, look at that, they're winning some games. And then people are just like, hey, look, you just die. Yeah, there was one game. What were they facing? I think their like guard was facing Black Templars. This was a while ago. This was like, God, at least a month ago, if not longer. And like things were going so well for the guard player, and then the Black Templar player just made every charge you could imagine, and the Imperial Guard player proceeded to die a very, very swift and painful death. Like it was bad. Because like I mean he was doing this thing. He like deep struck like so many scions or veterans. I don't know what, but he deep struck like 30 models in the Black Templars backline, and just like picked up his entire backline. And it was like, okay, cool. Like you're playing to the point where now the Black Templar player has to decide: am I gonna go forward and try to kill my opponent's side of the board so I can start scoring things on his side of the board, or am I gonna come back and try to defend my flank because there's a whole bunch of fucking guard in my deployment zone right now, and I have absolutely nothing to do with that. And I believe the Templar player decided to push forward, and like I said, pretty much charged everything. The remedial shooting that he had that he could put into the guard units picked up a good chunk of them too, so it's just like it went from like, okay, you've got a chance, to, oh, never mind. It's like, oh, go guard player, you can, never mind, no you can't do it, I'm sorry bud. That needs one more card of purple, and then I think we're pretty much done. Yeah, I'm glad that I've gotten off the train of playing armies that have no teeth in melee. In my opinion, it's not a real fun way to play Warhammer. I don't know if that's just because it's my playstyle, but like, I want to be able to fight. Like if we're charging, I don't necessarily want to be like, okay, cool, I just die. Like I want to fight back. I want to have the ability to be like, cool, if you bounce, I'm killing you. Like, you still need to roll well. That's pretty much why I stopped playing Thousand Suns. That, and they have no big guns, because at the time, Forge Fiends were not the greatest. I think Forge Fiends are okay right now. Oh, fuck me. But like, now I do, yeah, because I played Death Guard, and Death Guard had really good melee. I just couldn't fucking move. And then Thousand Suns, like, besides the Terminators, there was no such thing as fighting with that army. Like, you touch me, I'm dead. That's pretty much what I told every opponent I ever faced. They're like, oh, I'm afraid of your mortals. I'm like, just literally come up to me and touch me, and you'll kill me. Like, do you have a melee profile? Yes, you do? Cool. You can kill me. It's really not that difficult. I think it's 6. Because, I mean, granted, I didn't play Blood Angels in like a tournament, but that was like the army I learned. So it was Blood Angels into Death Guard, into Thousand Suns, into Custodes, into Sisters, and the Harlequins. I've also played Tau. So I've told many of my Tau opponents that I probably know the Codex better than them, and they laughed, and then they started playing, and I started telling them their own rules. Because That's the only army I tested against for 3 fucking months when I was playing Custodes. Because it was the only army that could actually pick up a Custode unit like it was nothing back in the good old days. Even through all the defensive strats and everything else that Custodes had available to them. And honestly, now without Stranglehold, Custodes are trash. Alright, night. Have a good night, my dude. Oh yeah, I wholeheartedly thank you for me dumpstering all the Tau players I've dumpstered in my lifetime. I think my Tau win rate's 50-50 in tournaments. Oh, I mean, technically, yeah. I think I've only faced them twice. So I guess technically 50-50. So I faced one at Adepticon. Oh, 3 times then. So I am 2-1. Oh, no, 2-2. Back to 50%. Yeah, but I was facing, at that time frame, I was facing brand new buff Tau with Thousand Suns. But yes, I forgot that I did face Adrian in a test game. So tournament. So not counting practice games, just tournament wise, I faced the first Tau player I faced was at Adepticon, and then at one of the Hobby Nights RTTs, I faced Zach. I think is his name. James's buddy. That game was an absolute fucking tragedy. I should have won that game so hard. My custodians all charged the characters turn 3 and bounced. That was such a depressing moment. And it wasn't even like they bounced because he saved well. They bounced because they all miss. That I misplayed my Dreadnoughts. Like 1,000%. When we talked about the game afterwards. He's like, why did you send your Dreadnoughts after some Kroot? And I'm like, fuck if I know. So I think my game plan initially was to like just send one Dreadnought over there. It was just like the Galatis was just going to be this menace on his left flank. And then for some reason I was like, I'm going to throw 2 Dreadnoughts over there. And then he just kind of like walked away from that flank, and I was like, oh, that's a fair response. Oh, okay. I see what you did. That was a smart idea. He's like, my crisis suits can almost move double the movement of your dreadnoughts? I'm outie. Where's your arms? Did I not cut your arms out? Shuriken kiss. Needler fusion. Needler kiss. Fusion kiss. Huh. Interesting. Okay. I thought I cut everybody's arms out. I apparently did not. So what do I need? Because this unit needs... Beak Boy is the sergeant. So Beak Boy is good. 3, 4. So this unit needs a Caress with a Needler. So that's you. So you can be... You also need an Embracer here. I thought I took that out. I don't know what's happening right now. I guess with the fusion, do I have another Needler somewhere? Shuriken pistols, 2 more embraces, Shuriken pistol. Nice thing about having a million sprues. So I've used all the Needlers I can. So I want an Embrace and I guess the fusion that's left. I'm gonna need those two. Boop. Don't know why I just did that. I know why, because I'm an idiot. So I got 2 more units left. I'll figure that out. I'm gonna figure that out later, not now. After I'm done building all these, I will figure out what I need to do. Oh, nothing. I know I have the 2 more sprues to do, and I'm trying to figure out what is all left I need to do. Because the Trip Master gave me odd numbers of dudes. Or not odd numbers, but like... Because I initially just had everybody with Harlequin blades, or Harlequin kisses. So I'm now giving them all the embraces as well. So I'm just trying to make sure that everybody's got what they need. That's all. Because I know most people don't care about WYSIWYG. I kind of do, especially when I have 2 different pistols, 2 different melee profiles. Like, it's going to drive me insane. I'm not going to remember what I said I pulled. It's going to become an issue. So I'm just trying to make my life simpler. And that's usually what I tell my opponents too. I don't care about WYSIWYG, but if you've got like 7 melee profiles and like 8 guns, you better have some way to like mark that you have what you have pulled, because otherwise we are gonna go WYSIWYG and we're just gonna I'm just gonna call the judge and we're gonna settle things that way, because I don't want to be turn 5. You just conveniently forgot that, oh yeah, that like Melta I supposedly pulled is not pulled anymore, and I just suddenly have this Melta available. Not playing that game. Especially if you have models or an ability to res models too. Oh, that would drive me insane. If you have the ability to res models, you're playing multiple profiles, and then you're like not playing as close to WYSIWYG as you can. You're one of the worst players in the world. Like I said, like, you don't even need to necessarily be like WYSIWYG, but like I'm gonna paint, whoever has this weapon, they have this colored hair. Just something as simple as that. Just so like we know we're looking at the models like, oh hey, yeah. The pink haired dude is still alive, so you still do have that one weapon that you wanted to have. Or oh hey, yeah, that one. You know what I'm saying? Time is it? It's been 45 minutes. So was it 9:15ish? 9 o'clock? Okay. I want to say I'm probably making pretty good time. I'm almost done with my second primary color. I'm doing the second coat on everybody. So it's like pretty much just like touch-ups after the second coat of anybody who may need it. And then that's done. And then after that, it's just my secondary color of the light green for all the hairs. But that's simple enough because while that's drying, I can do all the detail colors. So all my blacks, my yellows. Not my yellows, I do my yellows after I do my purple. I lied. So again, like I said, this is kind of my theory. Yeah, exactly. I don't care how you do it. Even if you paint like, okay, red boots, blue boots, I don't care. Just make it doable. Make it where it's like, you can figure it out. But yeah, like I said, this is also another reason why I kind of wanted to stream this, because like this would have like an active timer. It kind of proves my point. Like, doing it this way for at least me, it might not be the same for every person, is so much faster than like building it, priming it, waiting for it to dry, painting each dude individually, and then moving on to the next guy. Like for me, this just goes so much faster. Because it's like, I move down the line, I apply my first coat to everybody, and then by the time I get to the end of the line, that initial coat has dried. So we go back and start doing the second coat, and it's all good to go. My headphones died. I don't know if it matters. The only problem with this is because I'm an idiot and I'm like semi-speed painting this. There are things I forget about that need to be painted green. Like all the shirts. That kind of slows things down because we have to go back and get everybody's shirts. And then, like I said, because my stuff's kind of... paintbrush is kind of falling apart, I have to go back and retouch everything. Because I don't really have any other good paintbrushes right now. So they're all kind of in the same state of being pretty frayed. And that's more likely because I don't know how to properly take care of brushes, which is my own thing, my own fault. I'm also missing a lot of spots right now. I forgot 2 sets of legs. I forgot some torsos. I forgot a head. Caught back up where we should be. No head. Fuck, I wish. God damn it. See, I forgot. I'm forgetting them all. Sass just like tossed a whole bunch of my brushes because I was just like, these aren't good. Do I have a brush that'll work for me? I'm hoping you will work for me. So I need something a little more fine tipped right now. No, it's not going to work for me because it is as stiff as a board. Whatever. Just have to paint the fucking brown over it. No biggie. Alright, you get out of here. Who's left up there that's like decent? Maybe you? I'll give this the good old college try. Alright, who's left? Who is left for the greens? Couple spots to touch up. Wah! Wah! I have also come to the conclusion that I enjoy armies that like to just throw away their sergeants. Alrighty, my dude. See you later. most part, that is green done. Never mind. Oh, fudge sticks. Oh well. Just touched it up with the white. Right. I'm gonna turn the stream off because there's no one here.